We didn't know where to start. We hadn't bought property in Australia. We'd bought property overseas and knew the process there, but this is a very different market. So we felt we needed people who understood that. We had no idea when we came back what our budget should be. And then when we realised what it should be, it scared us a bit. So we narrowed down that we wanted a family home, something that we could be comfortable in for the next 20 or so years that the kids could grow up in. And then after looking at that, we realised in the eastern suburbs, it was going to have to be around 8 to 12 million. Our tax advisors had clients who had worked with property buyers before and were happy. And that's, you know, a referral is always better than a review on Google, or a referral is the way to go. I think clarification of what we wanted. When we first came into the process, we were not as focused as perhaps we should have been. So having Munro really have us focus on what we were looking for was helpful. And part of that was by literally getting out and seeing what we didn't love or what we didn't want. So that was really helpful. And I think also just understanding the different suburbs and those types of things. Although we've been back for a while and we've been renting in one area. So having expert advice on the different areas we were looking at was helpful. We weren't used to this whole off-market concept that's very prevalent here. And when we started becoming serious about the search, we began to realise that there was so much inventory that if we were doing the search ourselves, we just didn't have access to. It's just the way of the market. And that's when we realised we're definitely going to need a property buyer. And overseas, this is a very common process. You have a buyer broker. So this was a process we were familiar with and we were comfortable with. It's a period property, and we were looking for something that had warmth and history and charm. And a lot of the properties that we saw were more contemporary, and although they were lovely, they weren't quite what we were looking for. So this home has a lot of the original details, working fireplaces, privacy, lovely big kitchen. So this was the kind of space we were looking for, and we knew it as soon as we walked through the door. Munro was great and very diligent, always picks up the phone, always has a text message, he's on it. Like when he's on it, once you appoint him, he goes for it. And that, I got to tell you, at first he said to me, I normally find a property for my clients within a couple of weeks. And my reaction was, I don't think that's going to happen. You know, like I didn't honestly think it was going to happen. And it happened. And so that was part of it. We thought we were going to be looking for 6 or 12 months. And he managed to bring us the property we were looking for within our budget promptly. And that was a worthwhile experience. We got what we wanted, and Munro could have taken the upper end of our budget and run with that. Instead, he found us the right home within our budget. And you know what, are we going to do a bit of work? Sure, everybody does. We weren't just sold a product because it maxed out somebody else's revenue. We got what we wanted at a great price, and I think that's an amazing experience to be had.